Hello everybody. Welcome to the Market News edition for May 15th, 2018 from Brokerage Free. Let's have a look at the points from yesterday's trading sessions. Markets were range bound. A doji candlestick pattern was formed on the daily charts. The Karnataka election results are to be announced today. A BJP win would send the markets on a very bullish ride. The Congress win may affect the markets because it might lead to some idea of political instability. The foreign institutional investors bought shares worth about rupees 117 crores. Domestic investors bought shares worth about 687 crores. Let's have a look at the Nifty. Nifty opened at 10,815 and closed at 806. Nifty made an intraday high of about 10,834 and a low of 10,774. Nifty closed up by about 0.1 points from the previous day close of 10,806. There was literally only about 0.10%, 10 point difference between yesterday's close and the Friday trading session's close. Support levels at this point of time for Nifty is around 10,775 and 10,745. Resistance levels are at around 10,835 and 10,865. Markets are very likely to be influenced by the election results from Karnataka state elections. At the time of preparing this report, elections counting of votes have just started at 8 a.m. amid a very high security. We are eagerly looking forward to the election results from the Karnataka state elections. Let's have a look at the doji candlestick. We may have already covered this even in one of our previous sessions, but for the benefit of viewers, we are adding this information one more time. What is a doji candlestick pattern? The open and close price of the candlestick is almost the same. It looks like a plus or a cross sign. The shadows of the candle are either very small or it does not exist. It only indicates the indecision on both sides, the buyers and the sellers. Or it could also indicate that both the buyers and the sellers are equally matched and the price is not going anywhere. There are two interpretations for the charts when a doji candle is observed. One, it might be a sign of trend reversal when it happens at a uptrend or a downtrend. Or it could also mean that either the buyers or the sellers are gaining momentum to continue the trend. Let's have a look at the charts here. On yesterday's charts, you might notice that the open was 10,815 and close was 10,806, which is more or less the same, about a difference of about 11 points. However, if there are other formations of doji even in Nifty, a few for you. One of them is on the 23rd of April. You see, the opening is at 10,592 and the closing was about 10,584. Here, the difference is roughly about 8 points and it looks again like a plus or a cross sign. Let's also take a look at a couple of days prior to that for 23rd April. Now, if we have a look at the charts for 20th April, the opening was at 10,560 and the closing was 10,564. The opening and closing are more or less the same, separated only by about 4 points difference. Again, one more day prior, 19th April 2018, the opening was at 10,563 and the closing was 10,565. In all these examples that we have seen, the opening and closing are more or less the same with the difference of about 10 points, at around 10 points. And it looks, the chart, the daily chart, the candle looks like a plus sign. So these are instances where we have observed a doji pattern. As I have mentioned previously, it could either be a sign of trend reversal or a sign of consolidation for gaining momentum for the bears or bulls. Now, let's have a look at the world markets. The American markets are largely positive. The Chile and Mexican markets ended up on a negative note, as you can see. The European markets, English market was down by about 0.18%. European markets remained more or less the same, 0.05%. France also remains around the same with very marginal difference of 0.02%. Germany was down by about 0.18 and Switzerland was up by about 0.08. You will have to please take into account that the American embassy in Israel has been moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and that is causing a lot of political unrest in the Midwest. There has been a lot of protests from the Palestinian side, and as of yesterday's news, about 50 people have been killed in the clashes between the Israeli and Palestinian people. This may somewhat influence the world markets, but anyway, we just have to wait and see how much this impact is going to be. When it comes to the Asian markets, Japanese market remained more or less the same with a difference of about 0.05%. The Hong Kong market was down by about 0.43%. Chinese market was also up by about 0.23%. The Indian markets more or less remained the same yesterday when compared with the previous trading session on Friday. At the time of preparing this report, Nifty, Singapore Nifty was down by about 2.5%, with 2.5 points with about 0.02%. Everywhere around, people are mainly looking forward to the election results from Karnataka state elections. At the time of preparing this report, the counting has just begun, and we are just eagerly waiting forward to the results. As I have mentioned earlier, a BJP win is likely to send the markets soaring up. A hung parliament may influence negatively, or even a win from the Congress side may also negatively impact the markets. So please be cautious with your trades today. Thank you for watching this edition of Market Views from Brokerage Free. Good luck. Thank you.